So, welcome once again, those who weren't here when I gave my previous welcome. Welcome to the ISKCON Austin Hare Krishna Center. We're here to guide you and help you how to achieve unlimited happiness. Actually, suffering is called an unnatural, artificial position. You see, if you're in anxiety, that's unnatural. See, the difficulty is in our modern day society, anxiety is natural. If you're not in anxiety, you're some kind of a weirdo. You see. Well, we don't mind because it's keep Austin. It's considered cool to be weird at Austin, so it's okay to be weird. To be Krishna conscious is okay because it's keep Austin. We're helping to keep Austin weird, but being Krishna conscious, you see. Prabhupada said they would consider someone who is to be weird and strange, so that's okay. We don't mind being different than the average Joe on the street who's all kinds of anxieties about everything. We have a formula of how to be unlimitedly happy in all situations, even at the time of death, if you can imagine. For a devotee, death is a piece of cake. If I catch coronavirus, it's not a big deal. Just mean I'm getting ready to transfer to a different room in Krishna's house, that's all. So for devotees, there's no such thing as anxiety. The whole world is being paranoid, going paranoid about, everybody's scared now about coronavirus. We're not scared of coronavirus. Krishna is, when Krishna wants to take me, cool, no problem at all. If he wants me to stay, that's fine. He wants me to go, I know his eternal servant, and whatever he wants to engage me in, whatever body, in whatever universe, it's up to him. I'm just totally sold out servant of him, and therefore I have no anxiety about anything in any situation. So to help us enter into this mood of actually being who we really are, the devotees of Krishna, as confirmed in the scriptures wherein it states, Jivara Svarupahoy Krishnara Nijadas, the constitutional position of every single living entity is that he is the eternal servant of Krishna. Krishna has given us the whole Bhagavad-Gita to teach us how to be devotees. You see, Arjuna played the role. Actually, Arjuna was an eternal associate of Krishna. He's a liberated soul, you see. He's never an illusion. But Arjuna pretended to be an illusion. He acted as if he was an illusion. Krishna put him to it, or you could say Krishna put him into that state just so the Bhagavad-Gita can be spoken. In other words, it's a pastime. He's an eternally liberated soul. But he played the role of somebody who was in what's called Mahamaya, the great illusion of bodily consciousness. So that Krishna could speak the words of Bhagavad-Gita Arjuna didn't really need it, but we needed it, so he played the role of someone like us who's misidentifying with the body, and there's all kinds of anxiety about the material situation. So this is a very, very helpful and instructive book for us. So Arjuna, Krishna is speaking to Arjuna in chapter 2. Shri Bhagavan Nuvacha Asokcha Navachocha Shtvan Pragabhadang Shabasase Katastunga Katasungsha Nanu Sochati Panditaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for that which is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither the living and the dead. Arjuna is saying that he's not going to fight. He just can't handle this situation, facing his kinsmen in battle. He's not going to fight. He's on the bodily plane. So now, Prabhupada explains the inner meaning of this verse. Purport. The Lord at once took the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling him indirectly a fool. The Lord said, you are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, and who knows what is the body and what is the soul, does not lament at any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition. As explained in later chapters, it will be clear that knowledge means to know matter and spirit and the controller of both. I remember that was one of the lessons I first got when I was a young brahmachari, or we were trained by a sannyasi named Vishnu Janaswami who came to Austin. This is one of the first things he told us. Prabhupada said, knowledge means to know matter and spirit and the controller of both. So we have to really be knowledgeable. That anyone who doesn't know what is matter and what is spirit and who controls both is a fool. Only those people who know what is matter and what is spirit and who controls both of them, that's the only actually learned peoples. I don't care if you have 10,000 PhD degrees, if you don't know matter and spirit and the controller both, you're simply a fool, a buffoon. Isn't it? Arjuna argued that religious principles should be given more importance than politics or sociology, but did not know that knowledge of matter, soul, and the Supreme is even more important than religious formularies. In other words, there's different religious formularies, but they are secondary. And one should know the essence of reality. That's more important. See? To know what is matter, what is the soul, what is the Supreme, this is more important. Because he was lacking that knowledge, he should not impose himself as a very learned man. As he did not happen to be a very learned man, he was consequently lamenting for something which was unworthy of lamentation. The body is born and is destined to be vanquished today or tomorrow. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. One who knows this is actually learned, and for him there is no cause for lamentation, regardless of the condition of the material body. So Krishna has given me a lot of special mercy lately. I've been suffering with excruciating itches all over the whole body for week after week after week. But here I'm being reminded there's no cause for lamentation on the conditions of the material body. And I can laugh about it and be ecstatic in spite of the itching that's going on right down on here. The body's saying, come on, scratch me, scratch me, scratch me. No, you damn thing. I'm giving Bhagavad-Gita, I'm not going to scratch you. So I'm getting very practical experience of this, of not lamenting about the condition of the material body. If you have a good laugh about it, you take care of it the best you can, but ultimately it's not really me, it's just it's a car, Like we drive a Honda or a Toyota or a Lexus or a Mercedes or a Rolls. Anybody drives a Rolls Royce? Some people drive a Rolls Royce, but it's not. You don't have a Rolls? No. Okay, so it's not. What's the big deal if you're just like your car gets someone crunches in your car, but your insurance company just pay for a new one. It's not a big deal, So if your body becomes deteriorated and falls apart, and they have to scrap it, in a crematorium, what's the big deal? Let's get a new one, Just go on, But if you're Krishna conscious, they say, that's the one of all things. If you're Krishna conscious, when you leave this body, you don't get another rascal material body that gets sick and gets old, and has to go to school and has to pass school and all those things. You get a body which is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, qualitatively one with Krishna, in the spiritual sky where there's no taxes, no freeways, no pollution, no coronavirus, no anxieties, no terrorists, no difficulties, just an eternal festival of love and bliss where you're a youth forever. You don't get old with gray hair and hard of hearing, need a hearing aid like me. You can just be an eternal youth, singing and dancing and feasting your life away. And worry about getting fat. You can eat as much as you want, you don't even get fat. You can have 10,000 club diamonds and not even get fat, not even get sick. So the spiritual world but it's all based on a loving relationship with Krishna. So the beauty of this process is you can actually enter into that state of consciousness right now. You can actually enter into the spiritual atmosphere right now. You don't have to wait for death. It's not like the old Christian evangelists used to say, you get pie in the sky when you die by and by. It's not like that. You get the pie right now. Because this is a mystic, Krishna consciousness is a mystical process, Actually, Krishna, those two syllables, Krishna, the name Krishna is non-different from Krishna himself. In other words, if you actually chant Krishna's name, with full concentration and devotion, then you are directly associating with Krishna just as good as if you're right there with him in the spiritual world. In other words, the spiritual world and Krishna are actually fully present in Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So if you go deep enough into the meditation, you'll actually be in the spiritual world with Krishna right now. You can actually enter right now into the spiritual world. You can actually enter Goloka Vrindavan right now. Just by perfection of that meditation, you can actually enter the spiritual world. And another thing, I was just hearing a lecture today. Prabhupada gave a lecture on the... How many of you have been to our Los Angeles temple, Rukmini Dwarkadish? Wonderful deities, some of the original deities in ISKCON. Prabhupada gave a wonderful lecture, and I'm hearing it today, I have it on my smartphone. And Prabhupada was saying how if you take it as a brass idol, it will remain an idol for you. But if you actually understand, here is Krishna. You see, Krishna has actually come. Prabhupada, you can actually come to the point, if you serve him with love, that here is Krishna. Prabhupada said the deity will talk to you. He will actually talk to you. And I was thinking that when I was offering the arti to Prabhupada, that's true for a picture also. I was thinking, when I go deep enough into offering this arti, Prabhupada will actually talk to me and give me some instructions. When he was here, he gave me many instructions. I personally had a private meeting with him to get my Gayatri mantra. That was pretty ecstatic. He showed me how to count on my fingers. I was confused which way you do it. And he showed me exactly how to do it. And of course, I got many letters from him also, personal instructions. So I realized that I can actually get personal instructions. He can actually directly talk to me right now. If I go deep enough into this arti, you see. So the spiritual master can speak to you if you go deep enough in your meditation up on the spiritual master. Krishna can speak to you, Srila Prabhupada can speak to you, Lord Chaitanya, Radharani, any of these great personalities. They're Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, they're all accessible according to your degree of faith. You see. It's actually mystical. You can actually be in contact with these great personalities. You can actually experience how they're smiling upon you and blessing you in your endeavor to awaken the pure love of God within your heart. A little child, he might not be very expert at doing something, but the parents are so pleased he's trying. You see, he's trying to do something. He's trying to walk. Oh, little Johnny or little Amit, whatever, he's trying to walk. You see, oh, look, he's trying to walk. Oh, come on, Amit, you can do it. falls down. Come on, you can do it, come on. And finally he masters it. Oh, it's a big day. He walked. The whole family's celebrating. He walked, he's walking. You see? So Krishna is also watching and seeing. These great acharyas, they're watching and seeing how we're doing in our Krishna consciousness. And if we actually have that loving feeling of trying to please them, trying to connect with them, they will reciprocate with us. It's a fact. So I'm trying to speak in such a way that I'll get that reciprocation right now from all of the acharyas, you see. They can act through me and I can just be an instrument, a pure instrument for them. That's my desire, actually. Prabhupada told us to live with the world, so that we can't do that, but Lord Chaitanya can do it, you see. But if we become instruments in the hands of Lord Chaitanya, through us he can deliver the world. That's how we should, that kind of purity we should strive for. That we can become instruments in the hands of Guru, Gauranga, Radha Krishna, etc. for making this whole world happy in Krishna consciousness. People, they're suffering without Krishna consciousness. They're thinking money can make them happy, but money will never make them happy. You see. Power, prestige, money, sex, pleasure, these things are externals. They don't actually satisfy the self. Krishna consciousness is the actual means of becoming satisfied and happy. Therefore, we should take very seriously these teachings as our only real business in life. The other things we do, but they are externals for keeping body and soul together. Prabhupada always said, keep body and soul together. You know. Gotta have some food, you know, a roof, you know, clothes, a bed, you know, a few things. So do what is necessary for the material necessities, but understand that's not your real business. Your real business is awaken love of God within your heart. That's your real business. And if you don't do that, Prabhupada said you're lower than an animal. Why? Why lower than an animal? Why is such a rough thing to say? Well, it's fact philosophically, you see, because the animals are perfectly acting according to the laws of nature. The dog barks, the cat meows, and the cow moves. They all do their duty perfectly, according to their particular dharma, as a cow, a cat, a dog, or a rat, or an ant, or a tree, or a bee. They're perfectly executing their duty according to the laws of nature. The human being, however, is endowed with free will. He can act in accordance with his nature or out of accordance with his nature. His nature is given in the Vedas, the Tato Brahma Jigyasa. Now you have a human form. You are meant now to focus exclusively on self-realization. So if you do that, you're actually human. You're actually fulfilling your duty as a human being. If you don't seriously pursue self-realization, you try to imitate the animals, getting a nice nest, laying a bunch of eggs, have a nice nest, go for some worms at the office. Get out there at I-35 to go collect some worms, take them back to the nest, right? You're lower than an animal because you're not doing your duty as a human being. You see. If you train your children just to be worm gatherers and bring them back to the nest, then you're doing a great disservice to your kids also, you see. One has to learn the real purpose of this human existence, and that is self-realization. So I was fortunate that as a youth, I just couldn't plug into this whole thing, you know. Son, my dad said, your college days are going to be the happiest days of your whole life. The day he dropped me off at Baker Hall in Sherman, Texas, I was miserable as hell. These are my happiest days. I just want to know, what's the meaning of life, you know? That's what I want to know. Why do I exist? And we studied what was called basic studies. Of course, it was a joke of all the students. BS 101, BS 102. 4 semesters of BS. I don't know why they were so stuffy, the professors. We would call it basic studies, abbreviated BS. But we studied all the great philosophers, starting it was before the Greeks. I think it was even before the Greeks and the Romans. I forget who it was. Tigris and the Euphrates, yes. Our great Western civilization, it began in the Tigris and Euphrates Valley. There's nothing about India. India didn't even exist. It was discovered by the British for whatever, It was written, and we studied all the great thinkers of the Western, Bertrand Russell and Soren Kierkegaard and all the big thinkers, but nobody told him I existed. What is the purpose of my existence? One of the great philosophers said, I think, therefore I am. But why I am, that he didn't explain. Because I'm conscious, therefore I know that I exist. That's all right. But what is the purpose of the existence? That they did not get. But the Vedic wisdom, you see, tells you why you exist. And I explained to you why you exist. You're not your material body, you're an eternal spiritual being. Why do you exist as an eternal spiritual being? There is a Supreme Person who is the source of all existence. His name is Krishna, or he has unlimited millions of other names as well, Allah, Jehovah, etc. But that Supreme Person has unlimited power and unlimited capacity to enjoy it. So what's more fun, to be sitting in a room alone, to be here with a group of wonderful devotees, you see? It's nice. They say, the nature of human beings is we like company. We don't like to be alone. We are a social animal. Where does that nature come from? That nature is there in God also. He likes association. Therefore, he has manifested he has an unlimited capacity to enjoy. Therefore, how many living entities has he manifested from himself to enjoy loving relationships with? How many? Infinite number. That Supreme Person is manifesting eternally from himself an infinite number of living entities. And that's why you exist right now. He's emanating you from himself right now. He's maintaining you by his desire that you exist. And he will never annihilate you. He wants you to exist forever. He loves you. He wants to have a loving relationship with you. As I give the example many times, there's a big feast, like a Gaur Purnima feast, for example. Like tomorrow night, by the way, it's 6 o'clock tomorrow, Lord Chaitanya's appearance day. It's a big festival. You have a big Mahamela tomorrow night. This is only a warm-up for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's the big one. This is once a year, Gaur Purnima. Everyone be here at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your president, tell your governor, tell your mayor. Get them all here unless they have coronavirus. The Supreme Lord enjoys the festive atmosphere. And the more you have people, the more it becomes a festival. So he's emanating from himself, and a feast also means many preps. There's many different varieties of taste. Just like sometimes I've seen temples where we had 108 preps. I don't think we're doing that tomorrow night, but we're getting close, I hope. But anyway, 108 preps we could have at the feast. Guru Maharaji's painting back there. But just an example. I've gone to temples where we had 108. Of course, we kind of cheated. We made 15 different types of halva. We took one batch and put 15 different types of berries, and it was really cheating. We called it 108 preps. We kind of fudged. But the idea is, the more the varieties, the more it becomes more festive. The more the varieties of feasts. If you come to the feast, there's only one prep. A feast, only one prep. So the more you have preparations, the more it's a feast. So Krishna knows how to feast unlimitedly. Each single living entity gives him a different type of taste of loving relationship. So you're a certain type of prep. Your certain personality gives Krishna a certain flavor and experience that nobody else can give him. That's why you are unique to Krishna. You are unique. Nobody is like you. You are a unique personality, and Krishna misses when you fall down in the material. Then why are you in the material world? Because Krishna doesn't force you. It's not that you put handcuffs. You have to sit down and be a part of the feast, with handcuffs. No, feast means voluntary. Love means voluntary. Love me or I'll blow your brains out. Not like that. Put down the gun. You can love me or leave me. That is love. So Love has to be voluntary. So therefore, Krishna gives us a choice whether we want to love him or leave him. But he tries to do everything in such a way that we'll be encouraged us to not leave him. Sometimes we foolishly do, and then he makes all arrangements to encourage us to come back, like speaking the Bhagavad-Gita, or sending Srila Prabhupada here to the Western world to ignite a spiritual revolution all over the world. This is all Krishna's arrangement. This temple is Krishna's arrangement. Our getting this building is Krishna's arrangement. Our having so many wonderful devotees to associate with, like Guru Maharaji, for example. This is all Krishna's arrangement to help us become encouraged to come back to him, you see. Because he misses us, he wants us back, and he's doing everything he can to say, please come back, I miss you, I love you, I want you back with me as soon as possible, but I'm not forcing you. I love you and I want you, but just please come of your own free will. And so the spiritual master comes as a representative of Krishna and invite all the living entities of this material existence to come back to their eternal loving relationship with Krishna and his transcendental pastimes in the spiritual world. Either in Goloka Vrindavan, there are also Vaikuntha planets. Some have a mood of serving in awe and reverence. So they go to the Vaikuntha realm, where all the living, where Lord Narayan has 4 arms, and all the devotees also have 4 arms. But they recognize who is Narayan, and they're all these devotees. So there's also that mood of those who prefer awe and veneration mood. Those who prefer an intimate, loving relationship, 5 different types of primary rasas, as conjugal, friendship, parental, friendship or servitude, they go to Goloka Vrindavan. And you can actually switch. If you're not happy being in a 4-arm form in the Vaikuntha realm, you can go to Goloka and have 2 arms. If you want to switch, everyone's free. There's full freedom in the spiritual world. If you're tired of being an intimate friend, you'd rather worship with awe and reverence, you leave Goloka and go to Vaikuntha. It's a complete freedom in the spiritual realm. Total, complete freedom. You don't need a visa or a passport or an airfare or anything. According to your desire, boom. You go to where you want to be, you see. So we are giving you here the science, the information, the technology, the ability that now you can ignite your eternal spiritual identity and actually revive it. Even here in your present material body, you're working at IBM Corporation or wherever you're working, you see. You can actually be in your eternal relationship with Krishna at the same time, report for work on Monday morning, and be the best person in your office also, externally, while internally you're having a loving relationship with Krishna at every minute. Can you believe that? It's true. It's like, what's the proof? Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He was the most highly position an Indian can get in the British government. He was a magistrate. That was the highest position. He was very responsible. He was a magistrate in Jagannath Puri. Very high position, sitting in the court, passing judgments. Very high position for an Indian, a magistrate in the British government. At the same time, he was a pure devotee, experienced in the mellows of Krishna's transcendental pastimes within his heart, simultaneously. So don't think you have to wait till you retire, before you can really get serious in the Krishna consciousness. You're just starting your career now. You have to get married first. There's nothing you have to do. You can do Krishna consciousness right now, and it won't interfere with getting married or having a career. You see, it will enhance those things actually. Krishna will give you the best career and the best marriage. If you put Krishna first, the other things will be the best possible thing they can be. You see. Trust me, just put Krishna first and he'll take really good care of you. He'll take the best care of you. If you give your love to Krishna, he'll arrange everything perfectly in your life. Where you live, your house, your spouse, everything. Krishna will arrange everything. Just put Krishna first. Not your sense gratification. Put pleasing Krishna first and your life will become full of auspiciousness. I guarantee each and every one of you, whether you're retired or a kid, whatever your position, a little baby, an old senior citizen, whatever your position, I guarantee you, if you put Krishna first right now, from now on, Krishna is first in my life, you do that, your life will become auspicious. You'll become an empowered agent for transforming this hellish nightmare of the modern-day material society into a spiritual paradise. It's a fact, this material world can be turned into a spiritual paradise. by Lord Chaitanya's movement. And so, but that's why we're trying. So we have a movement. We're trying to create an atmosphere. We're trying to help. Our main motive is to deliver you back to Godhead, but we also want to deliver the whole material world. We want to deliver everybody here in the material world back to Krishna consciousness. That's our ultimate goal. Make a spiritual revolution to save all the souls who are drowning here. A devotee does not to see anybody suffering. If you're on a ship and somebody goes overboard and they're yelling, help, 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 you can throw him a life buoy? Sure. Someone's drowning, throw a life buoy. Somebody may swim out to try to save him. So that's the mood of a devotee. He can't tolerate to see anybody drowning in the material existence. It pains him like anything to see anybody caught up in this material existence. Therefore, the devotee must deliver everyone back to home, back to Godhead. That is the heart of the Vaishnava. So anyway, I've been going on for quite a while here, and I don't know when we end actually, but I can ask if there's any questions or objections or challenges or revolutions. Anyone have something? Yes.
Srila Gurudev, you mentioned Guru also can talk, like you were talking about Srila Prabhupada can talk.
Yes, one can actually, if one goes deep enough into that loving relationship with the spiritual master can actually guide you when you don't have to directly talk to you to them.
Oh, through the heart. Because
no, you could even hear him. He could even be audible to you and no one else. It could be.
But he's not present everywhere like Krishna is. Krishna is everywhere.
The spiritual master, by Krishna's grace, the spiritual master can be present for his disciple. By Krishna's grace. Even though he's not all-pervading. Krishna is all-pervading, the Guru is not. Prabhupada's back in Goloka Vrindavan now and has a vision of relationship with Krishna. But from that place, he can transmit, he can communicate from that place with his disciples. You see? It's like, let's look at it this way. If I can be in Delhi and pick up my mobile phone and talk to you here in Austin, right? That's some material technology, isn't it? Don't you think Krishna has a higher technology than our smartphones? You see what I'm saying? So, by Krishna's potency, then it can be done. Not that the Guru is all-pervading like Krishna, but by his, because Krishna is present. Just like the internet, the internet is present everywhere through all the, the vibrations. You can tune the internet anywhere. So Krishna net is also all-pervading, and through the Krishna net, the spiritual master can speak to you in that way. Nice question. Next question. Anyone else have any questions? I'm just delighted every one of you here tonight. I want to thank each and every one of you. This lady, is this your first time? I haven't.
No.
You come before?
No.
I don't recognize you. Your first time?
Here, yes.
Oh, we're so happy you came. Thank you very much. You live here in Austin?
No.
Just visiting. We're so happy you're here. Thank you so much for coming. So, and you, I don't recognize you also. Is this your first time?
My second time, but it's been a while. Second time.
Second time, okay. Well, please come regularly. Krishna loves you and we love you too.
Thank you.
So please come regularly. This is your spiritual home. Please, everyone, please come regularly. Take this as a spiritual home. Invite all your friends. Let's pack this place out and and outgrow it. So we have to get a huge, 500-acre spread someday. That's our goal. This is a beginning. This is a little start, a little tiny place on I-35. So I guess there's nothing. Oh yes, Meena. You've been coming for years. How many years have you been coming? 30? 25 years you've been coming. It's so nice to see you here, Meena. I remember you from many, many years ago. I remember. I am Meena.
Nice member.
You have any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? After that, what is that?
After that, what is there?
It depends. You see, if you're Krishna conscious, see, the soul doesn't die. You're actually the soul. The body is just a vehicle. You're the driver. You, the soul, is sitting in the heart. The heart is the driver's seat. And you, the living, and you, the spirit soul, are sitting in the heart of that body right now. You, the actual person, is an eternal youth. That body is aging, but you are not. You're an eternal youth. Now that soul is sitting, you, the soul, is sitting in the heart. If you're Krishna conscious when you leave your body in death, you immediately pass through the couplings of the material world into the spiritual sky. You go back to Krishna's planet, you see. Or if you still have some material attachment, you'll take another material body. So we want to train you to become totally attached to Krishna. So you want to take birth again in the material world. That's our goal. And that's why by chanting Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, one becomes more and more attached to Krishna. Doesn't mean you become aloof from your family members, your loved ones, but now you can connect with them as spiritual beings and give them true love and perfect love, better than before, you see. So it's not that the devotee becomes aloof from everyone else and I don't give a damn about you or this Krishna. No. He actually now can truly love and purely love even a little insect. He is loved by the devotee, you see. Because he sees the spiritual nature of all living beings, the eternal spiritual nature of all living beings. So yeah, it depends. Krishna says, if you think of me, you will come to me. So we want you to train yourself, always think of Krishna at every minute. When you wake up, Hare Krishna. You see, when you go to bed, Hare Krishna. Always keep in your mind, Krishna says, Yato yato nischalati, manas chanchalamashtaram, tatashtato nayamyatat, atmanya vishamyayat. From whatever and wherever your mind wanders, due to its flickering and unsteady nature, bring it back under the control of the self. That means bring it back to Krishna. So we want to train everyone how to keep bringing your mind back to Krishna, whatever you do, you see. Well, then you go to work, well, this office is actually the energy of Krishna. All these people here in the office, they don't know it, but they're all the devotees of Krishna. And this way you have to always see everything in relation to Krishna, and this way you'll always be thinking of Krishna. And that way, at the time of death, you'll automatically think of Krishna because you practice it your whole life, and you'll wake up in the spiritual world in your original identity with Krishna. Instead of having go to another womb, being packed up in a womb for 9 months. Is it? Anything else? Yes.
Actually, you said the goal of life is to have self-realized. So when a person is self-realized, then they will have detachment. They will have detachment to the body, and because they have detachment to the body, and when they leave the body, do they come back without love of God?
How many years? Try again.
So
the goal of the life is to become self-realized.
The goal of life is self-realization.
And if the person doesn't have the love of God developed just yet, because he is detached to the body, and when he leaves the body, does he come back?
If he's not attached to Krishna, he will take birth again. Yes.
But he's detached to the body, so why?
He's attached, but he's interested in self-realization.
Self-realization is, my understanding is, it's like the first step where you.
Is he endeavoring for self-realization, but he's not Krishna conscious yet?
Right.
And is he engaged in any sinful activities? He's very pious.
Yeah.
He's not having illicit sex, or he's not eating meat, or he's not gambling and getting drunk. If he's pure in his habits, then he'll take a human birth again and continue his self-realization process. But if he's sinful, he'll have to suffer. Like he eat meat eaters have to become cows in the next birth and be slaughtered in the slaughterhouse. That's their karma. People who eat hamburger, they become hamburgers in the next life. He's living a very pious life, not engaged in sinful activities, and he's pursuing self-realization. He'll take another human birth, continue his path of self-realization.
It's not easy. Many people, almost practically all Indians know.
Many people,
practically all Indians know that I'm not this body, I'm Atma.
Yeah. Mhm.
But they don't do anything.
And they're engaged in all kinds of
All
sinful
kinds of
activity,
things.
Bollywood and this and that, you know.
No, right. So I'm thinking about Guru Mata. So say some people, very ascetic people, they don't engage in like sinful activities, but they may not
They're
have
pious.
completely. They're right.
They're pious.
They're pious.
The pious people, they get the reward, they come back.
They come back, but they don't have an attachment to the body. So why would they come back?
They come back because they have to, whatever they have done, they have to get the result of it.
And one cannot be fully detached from the body until you become fully attached to Krishna. It's not that I am detached.
Also,
But detachment cannot become perfect until you're attached to Krishna and God.
also they do all this pious activity for profit, adoration and distinction. They don't do it without any motivation to get the name, fame, distinction.
Attachment is the concomitant factor of the living entity. Unless he attaches himself to spirit, he cannot detach himself perfectly from matter. He may try to practice detachment, just like some say you just have to make your mind blank. The perfection of meditation is to blank your mind. Make your mind. Some days going, I have to make my mind blank. I have to make. You're still attached to something. The concept of making your mind blank, that's an attachment. The perfection of attachment is to become attached to Krishna. Otherwise, there's some degree of attachment. Yes.
What about the impersonalists who maybe wouldn't that be like the pious people who don't?
There are impersonalists who practice piety and impersonal philosophy. At least traditionally, there were such. I don't know if there are any around today, but there were such traditionally. They were practicing impersonal philosophy. But the goal of impersonal philosophy is to merge and become God. You see, which is the ultimate ego trip. Ultimately, you see. So that's an attachment. I want to be God. You see, I want to be God. So the idea of being, I tried, myself, I was on the path of detachment. Deny. The impersonalists have a mantra called neti neti, not this, not that, not this. I was on that neti neti path back in '68. Deny. That was my thing. Deny everything. But then I had a realization one night, sitting in my parents' house, and it was so profound. I wrote it down. I wrote it down. I denied until I could deny no longer, and then I had to start accepting. Because the perfection of denial is to deny denial also. If you denied everything, there's only one thing left to deny, and that's denial. You see, that's something also. Denial is itself something. So the perfection of denial is to also deny denial. And then you have to accept something transcendental. So I was inspired to, I'd been worshipping Radha and Krishna actually in my apartment. But I didn't really understand the science. I'd studied the Gita, I worshipped Radha and Krishna, I'd offered my food to them. But I didn't understand the science of bhakti because I didn't have a guru, I didn't have devotee association. So I just felt inspired to be a part of a spiritual revolution for transforming the human society into a spiritual paradise. I felt that inspiration. So that became my mission, to bring about a spiritual revolution. And I tried on my own. I realized I didn't know what I was doing, and I realized Prabhupada knew what he was doing. So I joined forces with Prabhupada and assist him. He's the one who knows how to actually bring a revolution, Lord Chaitanya's movement. Anything else? So you understand this point?
Oh, yes.
Denial is also an attachment. The perfection of denial is you have to deny denial also. and then you have to accept something transcendental. So we'll stop here, and we thank everybody for tuning in. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Srila Bhagavad ki jai. Guru Premanandi.
Srila Gurudev ki jai.
Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Remember, Gaur Purnima. And oh, by the way, I mean, to observe it properly, fast all day, but you can take water. Fast all day until tomorrow night.
Well, if somebody is sick, they can take fruit.
If you're sick, you can take it. It's okay.
Ekadashi Prasad.
Take some Ekadasi Prasadam, like some fruits. If you can't handle it, take some fruits. But some of us love it, but it's a great opportunity to lose a little bodily fat.